Today we are joined by Dr. John Dole, who is a former professor here at OSU and is currently at NC State. Dr. Dole, thank you so much for, while you're visiting, coming back onto Oklahoma Gardening with us. You're no stranger to the show.
It's great to be back. You know, it has been a few years since I've been back here in Stillwater, and it's been so much fun to see all the excitement going on at Oklahoma State University with all the new programs and new buildings and such. A lot of fun.
Absolutely. Well, one of your main areas of interest, or research, I should say, is floriculture. So we're excited to have you on the show to talk a little bit about this whole market of floriculture and cut flowers. There's a lot that goes into it. Can you give us kind of the highlights?
Sure. You know, flowers are gorgeous. You know, we love having them in our homes. What is so much fun is just how much goes in to getting that flower there. You know, it starts with the plant breeders coming up with the new varieties, the new colors, the new styles, and then the growers that are growing them all over the United States and indeed all over the world. And then the work that goes into getting the flower from the grower to the customer. You know, there's a lot of technology, a lot of really cool technology involved in that. And then, of course, just enjoying the flowers when we do get them.
And how long they might last for us, right?
And how long they might last for us, that's right.
So tell us a little bit, let's start with maybe some of the cultivars. What's shifting with some of the plant material?
Well, you know, floriculture in some ways is, well, it is definitely agriculture, but it also combines fashion, and which makes it challenging for the growers because they not only have to grow the flowers and grow them well, but they also have to try to anticipate what people are going to want in terms of styles and colors. You know, dahlias. Dahlias are big again. You know, it's interesting. Dahlias were grown in the 1800s as a major cut flower, and here they are back again. And which colors of dahlias, which styles of dahlias, hydrangeas are a big deal. Shade of red can change from year to year, or something will show up in a magazine and then everybody wants that for their weddings. So it's a fascinating industry that really takes a lot of skill and work to make it all happen.
Absolutely. And have we seen a shift from just flowers to leaves and stems and things like that? Also, some of the woody plant materials?
Very much so. You know, we say cut flower production, but it's cut flowers, it's cut foliage. In fact, some of the growers now focus quite a bit on just the foliage. You know, there's the lacy textured foliage, there's the fragrant foliages, there's cut stems. Woody ornamentals have been popular, continue to be popular. You know, some of the red twig dogwoods with their beautiful colored stems, woody shrubs with berries, you know, and then we buy them mostly fresh. Dried flowers are coming back, preserved. So there's just a whole plethora of different ways that we can get those flowers and use them and enjoy them.
So you mentioned this is a global industry. Can you talk a little bit about some of those leading countries and also the shift to maybe local production?
Sure. You know, if you buy flowers in a grocery store, there's a good chance that many of those flowers were produced in Colombia or Ecuador. The climate there is excellent. And then with air transport and increasingly sea transport, those flowers can get from those countries here into the United States in quite a short amount of time. But the fact is that there's only certain flowers that handle that transport process very well. There's a huge number of other flowers that we can grow and sell that are new and different. Some of them don't handle that transport chain very well, and others are just grown in such small quantities that these very large growers, it really doesn't fit into what they're doing. And so about 10, 12 years ago, the interest in all things local just boomed. And that translated into people wanting to buy local flowers. And so we've just seen a big increase in the number of growers trying to meet the demand for local flowers, as well as unusual flowers, different flowers, flowers with a story. You know, it's just really been fun to see the big increase in interest in cut flowers.
And let's talk a little bit about the marketing of that local also with U-Picks.
There's so many different ways that flowers are marketed these days. Many years ago, a grower had really just 3, maybe 4 different options. They could sell to a retailer, a florist, they could sell to a wholesale florist, or they sold at the farmer's market. Now we see farmer-florists. These are folks that grow their own flowers and design with them. They do weddings, they do events. We see folks like you mentioned doing some U-Pick We see folks selling through cooperatives and hubs. These are groups of growers that come together. Each grower grows certain things really well, but by combining several growers together, they can offer a whole variety of product to their customers. What's really been a lot of fun is on the farm sales. You pick being one of those, but we see a lot of folks doing events on the farm where folks can go out and see the flowers being grown. They can then go in, they can use those flowers to make their own arrangements and then take them home. And so it becomes much more than just buying flowers. It becomes a whole afternoon, a whole evening, an event. They do it with their friends, they do it with their families, they do it for special occasions. It's just been a lot of fun. The driving a lot of this, of course, is the internet. The fact that growers can reach the customers directly and tell their story about their farms and about their flowers. And that's so impactful when you can tell your story directly to your customers.
Let's talk a little bit about who are your colleagues within this and what are some of the future research that's coming?
We work a lot with the Association of Specialty Cut Flower Growers. It's a national organization for cut flower growers in the United States and Canada. So I guess I should say international association because it does include many Canadian members as well. With that group, I'm the executive advisor. I've been working with that group for many, many years. Just wonderful group. And for those who are interested, it's not just for growers in the sense, they also have a part of the website where you can go in, put your zip code, and you can find local growers. So if any of your audience members want to buy local, that can help you connect to local growers. One of the things we've been doing for many, many years, over 30 years, has been new cut flower trials. This is in cooperation with the Association of Specialty Cut Flower Growers. We get in new seeds and new varieties from the breeders, and we have a network of growers around the United States and Canada that test them along with their regular production. And then in the fall, send in results. I tabulate all the results. We pick the top winners. It really helps growers find what's new. Growers are busy. It's sometimes hard for them to try a lot of new things. So we sort of take that middle part out of them and tell them, here's the ones you really should look at. We've been doing that for many years, and it's really been helping out a lot.
Very good. Well, and I know you're involved with Seed Your Future. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and the potential for anybody going into this industry also?
Right. Seed Your Future is an organization that was started about 11 or 12 years ago now. And at the time, I was department head for horticultural science at North Carolina State University. And we had more jobs than we had students graduating. And turns out that many of the other schools had the same situation as well. So myself and others, including Doug Needham, who I understand has been on the show before, got together and really started to focus on how we can get more students interested in horticulture. There are so many careers. I mentioned earlier, what all it takes to get a flower from the breeder to our homes and all the jobs that are involved in that. So I hope any young folks out there, any folks interested in potentially horticulture as a career, they can check out the Seed Your Future website. What's really fun is they have a whole lot of resources, scholarships, internships, but there's one section that kind of lists out all the various careers. And just scrolling down there, I wish I had this when I was a kid. Things have worked out well, but there's just so many different careers that people will find engaging.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing this information with us today. We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.